Rose Stiffarm is a cinematographer and camera operator who has made it her life mission to actively search and involve more Indigenous people in the film industry, including more Indigenous women. In 2009, she attended the Capilano University's Indigenous Independent Digital Film program, where she later received her diploma. She then went on to receive her cinematography for film and video certificate in 2013, and in her motion picture arts bachelor degree in 2016. Since 2011, she has provided her skills, knowledge, and expertise behind the camera for a total of 13 films, shorts, and TV series, including 2020's Monkey Beach with Grace Dove and 2019's The Indian Road Trip, with many of those productions filmed in British Columbia and the United States. Stiffarm also received a shout-out by actor Lily Gladstone in The Guardian, where Gladstone named a list of great native Hollywood professionals. We recently spoke to Rose Stiffarm from Vancouver. Here's that interview. Rose Stiffarm, thank you so much for chatting with us. I wanted to start by asking you about where you first found your love for the craft. I understand your parents helped, your dad introduced you to the camera, and your mom took you to the movie Smoke Signals when it was first in theaters.
Yeah, well, when I was growing up in Seattle, Washington, go Seahawks, but I was part of a youth theater program called Red Eagle Soaring, and later I was asked to act in a youth short film. And somebody asked me if I ever thought about being on the other side of the camera. And I said, no, not really. That sounds like a really cool idea. And so I ended up being approached after the screening if I would be interested in teaching Native youth how to use film to tell stories. And I was 15 years old myself, and I'm 36 now. So this was 20 years ago. But somebody said, we have this program where we go to the reservations outlying Seattle, and we'd love to train you as a peer mentor. How does that sound? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a pretty cool idea. And so we eventually created a program called Superfly, where we gave 50 youth 36 hours to create 5 films, and they'd premiere at the Seattle International Film Festival on the big screen. So it would be shot and edited and screened and within just a few days' time. And so it was a really awesome program to be a part of. And so it was that particular program that catalyzed me to want to be a mentor and to go and get all these credentials that you see here on my wall. And so I'm really proud to give back to the community when I can, because the community's always been there for me to help support me in the good times and the bad and everything in between. And so I just love to get knowledge so that I can share it with more people. And if I can help the next generation of filmmakers and artists not have so many barriers to overcome, that's music to my ears. And that's, part of the legacy that I'm trying to leave and moving forward.
Such a great program and so much great opportunities for you. You now have done so much great work over the years. Do you think Indigenous representation within your industry is getting better or worse since you first started?
I would definitely say that it's getting a lot better. And so part of it is there's becoming to be more Indigenous people in certain roles like writers and directing, but I still think that it's a great thing that to work on is having more Indigenous technicians at all levels. And so in my experience, I've been approached numerous times to shadow a director of photography or shadow a director or shadow these people on sets. But I feel like we get more authentic storytelling when we're the ones in charge of what's happening in front of the camera and behind the camera and all the parts in between. And so in terms of representation, I didn't see a whole lot of people that looked like me growing up. And when I do see people like me on screen, it's really exciting, and it just, I don't know, it helps me feel like more as a complete person, I guess. But I know that there's a lot of work to do still. And so it's something that I work towards.
For sure. Award-winning actor Lily Gladstone also previously gave you a shout out, with you being one of 42 names she considers as part of her native Hollywood network. How did that make you feel?
That was music to my ears, because in my experience, I work hard, and I also deal with a lot of crabs in the bucket too, trying to pull me down and sabotage me financially. And so it actually came at a really validating point in my career where I had just heard about one of my instructors sabotaging some of my work contracts. And so to get that shout out from Lily was like, she felt like she was the crab pulling us out of the bucket. And so that's the kind of energy I like to have is like, I know that there's people who want to bring us down and there's so much lateral violence in our communities.
More support is always better. You have been a previous member of the Directors Guild of Canada. Can you tell us why you want to be at those important decision-making tables?
Honestly, it goes back to financial abuse, and what happens as an independent artist is without that union backing, sometimes we get coerced into projects that we don't want to like initially say yes to because we're being overworked and underpaid, and I'm a firm believer in equal work for equal pay. And so in the long term, I would love to join a union. It's been very exclusive, but I'm hoping that through time and putting our heads together, we can find ways to help make it.
Finally, Rose, what words of wisdom would you like to tell other young Indigenous filmmakers out there that you wish you had when you were their age?
I'm just gonna share something that some of my teachers have told me is to reach for the stars, and even if you don't make it to the stars, you might fall in the treetops. And like that's something I just have thankfully heard told to me many times as a kid, and I really think that it's so inspiring to see so many other people doing incredible things in the arts and in film and television and live events that I want to encourage everybody who is told no, that's a silly idea, because I've been told to quit film numerous times, and I know that it's important for us to have representation on screen and beyond, and that it's more than just on screen that we need representation, it's behind the camera too.
Rose Stiffarm is a Blackfoot cinematographer from the Agecoutay Nation. Rose, thank you for your time.
Pushka. Sugapi.